Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave Sports and Entertainment original presented by Prize Picks. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. It is Foxworth Friday. Domonique Foxworth, what's going on?
Not much, man. I'm amused every time by how, little glimmer of satisfaction. I can hear it in your voice. I can see it in your face when you remember to say all the new things the right way.
Yes. It's a gradual process. Because y'all know, man, I'm a machine about this. Once I got it, I just hit the button and then I go. But we have been doing it one way for a very, very, very long time. And now we're taking it to another direction. And now, people don't know this. I got all this stuff in my house now. You know what I'm saying? I got lights that are controlled by the Wi-Fi. I got this camera. It's got a teleprompter in it. That's how I'm looking at you right now. And I have to be honest, because of the way they got this thing set up, I can't tell what the hell going on with your shirt. From the picture that I have.
As I was walking in, I was like, Bomani gonna have something to say about this shirt. I mean, even without the picture, it's probably not the picture. It's just a different kind of shirt. It's different.
No, I get that it's different. I can tell that, but what I got is really small. And so since it's very small, it's 3 windows and you're one of them and it's just kind of down and the windows are within a Chrome window. So it's not even like I got you on full screen. You understand what I'm saying? I literally don't know what's going on.
It's like Madras. It's a bunch of different patterns. It's some colors. I don't know, man. Sometimes stuff show up in your closet. It's
I was about to say,
married man's life and you throw it on your back.
I was about to say, no shade to it. I just literally was sure that if I saw it, I would have some idea, number one. And number two, I knew good and goddamn well that you did not purchase it. You were not part of the acquisition process when it came to this shirt.
No. To be fair, I do a lot of the stuff I get complimented on. People are always like, oh, Ashley must have got that for you. It's my wife is pretty fashionable and stays on top of those things. When you get a Christmas card from us, you're going to see she picks everybody's clothes out. But I have the capability, but I just don't be trying most of the time. And sometimes you got to remind me to try.
Nah, I'm about simple, high quality, right? Is that cashmere? That's the way I'm playing this game now. My new indulgence is cashmere sweats. I enjoy walking around my house in my cashmere sweats. I do this show 2-3 times a week in these cashmere sweats because once you do that once, it's kind of hard to go back to this thing that I got at a tennis tournament.
Cashmere sweats is hilarious because sweats are supposedly for doing sweaty things. Cashmere ain't for sweating it.
Nah.
That's a flex.
It's also quite warm. I'll have to sometimes go downstairs for something that requires a quick step outside, and it still does the job. But you are 100% correct. I thought about doing some yoga in my cashmere sweats, and I was like, man, if I stretch these sweats out doing that, I'd be so mad before it would have bossed them up.
Oh, yeah. That's like people who get the fastest. Whenever I buy a new car, they always try to upsell me. Why don't you get the Turbo S, the S Supercharged, get a couple extra cylinders? All right, well, it's enough that I'm getting this super high-powered engine to drive around a city, stop and go. What I look like with a turbo? We ain't racist. You gonna get some stickers on the side for me, too? If you give me some sponsorships, we will consider it. But otherwise, go ahead and give me that base model. I just like the way it looked.
Dog, I got that race car when I lived in Miami. I guess we wasn't cool like that by the time I left there, but I had a BMW M4 for my last year in Miami. I got a big tax refund check. Long story on that, but I got my big tax refund check and I went and I bought the car, right? I had the contract for 3 years, right? I got the car. The problem was I live in Miami. And the thing that people don't understand about Miami until you live there, you will really get this. People drive 2 ways in Miami. Really fast or really slow. And the really slow makes the really fast impossible.
I mean, I guess it's a combination of people in Miami is probably a lot of retirees. It might constitute some of the slowness. And then there's also some other things in Miami that might encourage a little bit speedier lifestyle.
Well, it's actually a little bit of 2 ends of the second part because the retirees are not really in Dade County, right? People did not get old. They still there kind of on the beach or whatever, but the retirees are typically either north or south, but they're not really down there in Miami.
They say they in Miami, but they're not in Miami.
Yeah. They say Miami because it's what you'll understand, right?
Right.
What is in Miami, though, is people with warrants various concerns about law enforcement. The occasional bicyclist on I-95. There's just things. They're just things that are always going on. And so you never can really go fast. And by the time you can go fast, you about to be slamming on the brakes because somebody afraid the man gonna pull them over and it's about to be a problem. Like it's, you add that to, sometimes I might have had weed in the car. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't need that in your life.
The bicyclist, though, I've been biking to work for the last probably year now. Even when it's cold out, I hit it. And I remember driving back when I used to drive all the time. Bicyclists would annoy me, and I'd be like, they just think they own the road. Like, they got some privilege. Brother, you start riding that bike enough, you start to feel the same way. I be weaving in and out of traffic, cutting people off. So make sure I get my affairs in order, just in case. Make sure the kids taken care of.
Dominique, I want to make sure you understood what I said. I said bicyclists
on 95.
On I-95. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood.
I have not reached that level of bicycle arrogance yet, and I don't think that those people have either. They just desperate. Anybody who's cycling on 95 is just desperate because wherever you need to go, you don't need to get there on a bicycle.
Miami, what a time. By the way, we're going to talk some NFL in just a second. I just wanted to let you guys know that I just got the Spotify Wrapped for the right time. It's come around. And Dominique, you should know that our top episode for the year was The Dog Days of Summer and Shohei the Money with Foxworth Friday.
That's shocking.
I was a little surprised. I honestly don't know when that was. I don't remember it in a very particular way, but it sounds like it was in the summer. So I did not think that would be the case.
That's wild. That'd be something else going on. We got the best numbers on the dog days, which means nothing else was going on. So maybe that's it. It's that we provide all the stuff that we're doing now is so people came because everyone else is dead when they don't got no sports to talk about.
I think I know what happened.
Uh-oh.
That
One of
must
us
have
said
been
something?
That must have been that last episode before I took that break.
Oh, yeah.
That was that last hit of that narcotic. People was going back, right? They had 3 months to get caught up. That's what it was.
I don't like that explanation nearly as well as I like the one that I was concocting. Is that it's the dog days, so nobody else got nothing to talk about. So they said, you know who can make some chicken salad for us? These two brothers, and they came on over.
I do think there's something to that. It's also going to make for like very awkward year-over-year comparisons to next year at that point. Because I'm like, look, y'all want them kind of numbers again? Give me 3 months off, baby. But Spotify also say that 33% of our listeners discovered us in the year 2023. I don't know what the hell took y'all so long. You know what I'm saying? But welcome.
I guess it was I can't even claim it. I was going to try to claim it as Foxworth Friday, but I mean, I've been doing that well before then, but it take a little time sometimes.
87 countries, homie. We honestly, if we in 87 countries, we in some countries that I ain't know had Spotify.
We're in some countries that we probably don't talk bad about.
Yeah, 87. How long did it take you to download this show? Depending upon which one of the places. Like back when I used to be download, they getting us on dial up. That's dedication.
This is not streaming over there. It's just
shout out to you, Kiribati, or wherever it is that you was getting that from. I really appreciate you. They said that we got some new listeners in Canada, Australia, South Africa, the United Kingdom, and the Philippines. All right, I see you. Shout out, Pablo. Thank you for telling the people what we had going. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. I honestly, and I guess whenever I do travel, that's when I get noticed the most. Maybe it's because it's the time when I'm out the most. But outside of my local area, people say, what's up? But it's probably just like other people traveling I'm running into. But I'm not surprised by that.
No, it's good here. Let's see. Oh, they saying that the listeners have told their friends about us. Shared 41% with direct link. Y'all sharing it by text. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
that's what's up.
I got called Bomani a couple weeks ago for the first time in a long time. It was a good reminder when I was thinking that I was blowing up. I'm doing my own thing. I got my own show now. And people don't call me ESPN no more. They take them a minute, but they ended up finding my name within a couple minutes. But this time he's like, hey, he was on the phone. Love your stuff. Keep doing your thing, Bomani. But, all right, brother. I never correct people because then it requires me to stop and talk. I just give them a head nod. I won't embarrass you. I just give them a head nod like, appreciate it.
I mean, I would appreciate if you told them, no, Bomani's taller than this. Like, if you want to do that, that would, you know, like you could be like, yo, he ain't got this much hair. Like, if you want to balance it out because your inner hater couldn't just throw you that little bit of shine right fast. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you coming to defend me. I wasn't about to do that. I was going to say, you right. You got it, dog. Because the thing about the height is it's only offensive to people who are insecure. Yes, that is a fact. We can't argue. You are taller than me. Congratulations.
Yep, that's that. The other part is, I really wouldn't want to fight you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like that would work out very well for me. And if I felt that about the whole world, baby, y'all wouldn't be able to tell me shit.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. But the people on the street, I'm certainly not straightening them out. Just give them a head nod.
Hold up, right fast. I got to send a shout out to the people. Our podcast rating was a 5.0 because we ain't got no haters in our midst.
That's wild. So nobody even got in there and tried to be funny. Like, I feel like all the times when we have gotten, each of us have gotten jumped on by the hype machine. I don't know what to call them. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm surprised that they didn't like bombard you with negative stuff.
They can't even hate, baby. That's all it comes down to. They want to hate. They can't even hate.
I don't know if this is a tease or not, but those people who you and I tend to piss off, they might love one of our topics today.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that. We can actually get to stuff. My fault. Okay. I just got this Spotify rap like right before we got on, and it's some very fascinating data that I have to say is here. But first things first, okay? You had an ACL tear, right? It was not an Achilles tear.
Yep, ACL.
Now, in basketball, the Achilles is like the death knell. Like, once that happens, you're never going to be the same again. Football doesn't quite work the same way. But it has been 11 weeks since they told us that Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles tendon. And they saying this dude is cleared to practice. And they saying it's possible he could play this year. And I don't understand how this is possible.
I wish I could tell you. I don't either, man. Like, I don't understand how it's possible. I also don't understand. I guess we can start with how is it possible, but for what also gets in here for Ricky Waters, because it doesn't seem to make sense given the status of this team right now. I guess maybe you could argue that they need these reps so they could be ahead of schedule for next year, because y'all ain't doing nothing this year. They know it. We know it. Aaron knows it. Everybody knows it. I don't know. I think that... So at least with the ACL reconstruction, and I think this is fair of most surgeries like that, is it's about the healing around it and about rehabilitating the muscles that have atrophied in the process. That's what most of rehab is, in maintaining a certain level of flexibility throughout all of the swelling that's going to come from having somebody cut you open and dig around inside there. If he has found a way to expedite that process, then he has found something that none of us know about, ain't nobody else found. So we'll see. So when I got my ACL done, and again, they're different surgeries. And at this age, I'm 40 now. A lot of my friends are popping Achilles. This is Achilles popping age because your Achilles starts to get a little bit.
It's my biggest fear.
Brittle. Yeah, mine too, brother. my brother-in-law been trying to get me to play basketball with him for 5 years, and I was like, nah, bro, I'm done with that. I'm done with any type of explosive push-off unless I got to spring into action to defend a family member. Otherwise, we cycling, baby. We are cycling.
Golf.
Cycling. Yeah, golf, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I can't get to the bottom of it. His magical I don't want to be insulting, but a lot of stuff that he says, like, it feels like a joke about like listening to dolphins and like whatever, like, and it feels like he is trolling us to some degree. And also it feels like he wants to be a transcendent celebrity, and losing the spotlight is something that he is concerned about, and amplifying his notoriety is also something that he seems to be focused on. And all of this seems like it fits in with that. But what you can't fake is going on the NFL field and playing quarterback. We'll see if that actually happens.
Yeah, because that's he do be trolling us. There's just no way around that. He be trolling us. And so I don't know what to, because this doesn't sound possible. Like everything that's being laid out here seems wholly and totally impossible. And the only time I remember somebody coming back and doing something that just seemed 100% impossible was when Jerry Rice came back from that ACL tear in like 8 weeks. Like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but Jerry Rice, the hardest working motherfucker in the history of mankind, right? I guarantee you right now, Jerry Rice running up and down that hill just in case somebody invite him back to camp, right? And look, if you think I'm not being serious about Jerry Rice right here, you know that commercial, the one with Emmitt Smith and Dan Marino and Randy Moss and all them cats in it, and they being old. If you go back and watch that commercial, everybody does something in that commercial that betrays the fact that they too old for that shit, except for Jerry Rice. Not at any moment.
He won't let him happen.
He won't let him happen.
I'm trying to think back through that commercial, but they close it out where they all just, he not even a part of that, where they're just like, they can have it. Jerry Rice still out there putting it in.
He doesn't see what the joke is, right? Like, Jerry Rice is like, okay, cool. So I'm going to be coming right at Patrick Surtain. I'm going to give him a little of that left, then I'm going to go to the right, and then I'm going to make the catch, and Surtain going to have a torn groin.
As you know, I could be 100% accurate in telling you that ain't true, because Jerry Rice's last camp was in Denver, and it was my first camp. And my welcome to the NFL moment involved me realizing I can cover the best receiver in football, in the history of football, without very much effort. So Patrick Surtain, number 2, is much better than I am, and he will give Jerry the blues.
That was the movie that Jerry Rice was trying to create. That's the commercial that he had in his head when they came out there. Like, when Jerry Rice got there, it was like, wait a minute, so I'm supposed to be out here looking like a sucker? Right? Jerry, like, oh, no, Jerry Rice, everything we need to know about Jerry Rice, we knew when Jerry Rice showed up with them braids in the year 2002.
I told you, I told this story on here before, but I've told you before, where Jerry was behind the times and ahead of his time, because he was, like you said, he was like one of us, and we were all 20 years younger than him in many cases, at least 10 to 15. And he was closer to the coaches in his age while he was on that team. I think it was 40, right? Which is unheard of for somebody at his position. And so he was one of us. He went out to the club with us. And this is where he was ahead and behind, because this was 05, baby. We was baggy with big chains on, and that's what we was doing. Jerry had on some skin-tight tailored jeans, a well-tailored button-down that was unbuttoned to his sternum with a tiny little gold cross on his neck. And we was like, this boy think it's the 70s, but Jerry would clean up in the club in that fit today.
Not only we cleaned up in that fit today, I bet he was cleaning up then, because when Jerry Rice looked like that y'all didn't. Y'all thought y'all looked like y'all had some money. Y'all did not. Jerry Rice in here like IYKYK. I also feel like Jerry Rice is probably in the club in there. He seemed like he come to the club doing this a lot. Ooh, ooh. I feel like that was one of his moves.
Man. Jerry was not somebody we had to worry about competing with. He wasn't in there trying to make no friends, because the clubs we was in was the clubs where they were not interested in that, which is surprising to most people. The women that were interested in the players, at least the experience that I had, none of them was trying to get money. It was more about status. Mm-hmm. I felt like, and we don't want to turn this into some big psychological evaluation, but I think it was about, more than anything, is this city has 53 of these people. Yeah. They are unique in this way. Nobody is trying to, like, well, some people I'm sure, but the vast majority of them are not trying to hit a lick. They just trying to be like, I'm the queen of this shit, because you know what? The one of the 53 is interested in me and not worried about the rest of y'all. It's a status symbol.
Yeah. Well, also, I would say lick is a relative term. So, like, hitting for a lick in New York means something different than hitting for a lick in Denver versus hitting for a lick in Houston. And I say that to say that, like, we gonna go eat somewhere nice. That is a lick in its own way, right? You know?
That's where you're misunderstood. Wasn't nobody going out, Bomani. Nobody was going on dates, bro. Like, that wasn't what was happening.
I'm sorry, I forgot how old we were. How old you were at this time.
Yeah. We was in our early 20s. I wasn't taking nobody to no dinner. That wasn't happening. I mean, I'll take somebody to a dinner, but that was somebody that I was serious about. You wasn't taking these people that you just met to dinner, and they wasn't asking for it. Like, that wasn't their expectation. It was like to be able to, I'm assuming it was like to be the one who walks out the club with the coolest kids in high school, or to be able to tell your friends or whatever, or they are legitimate fans and they think it's cool or whatever like that. That was more the vibe than anything else.
Also, y'all new in town, and I think that's very important in a place that's not that big. Like, y'all new in town, they know all the other dudes that rolled up in here. Here goes Jerome again.
We're new in town, and the one thing that seems universally attractive is confidence. And we had confidence, whether it was founded in anything real or not. It was legitimate confidence. It wasn't nobody pretending to be confident. You walk up and even like when you didn't, because like me, I'm a smaller guy. If I didn't tell you I play football, you would assume I didn't play football. But I walk up in the mall and walk right up to somebody and talk to them, and then just like feeling fully confident. You can tell, like, oh, this is somebody. This is something. This ain't just the guy who's like, excuse me, girl, I just think that you really cute, and I just wanted to give you my number. Nah, like, hey, what's up? You all right? You good? And that is roll.
You're like, how'd you like to go somewhere and I spend money? That wasn't really the pro. You are not here living like Joe. I'll take you to places he will not.
Absolutely not, because you didn't have to. Like, you didn't have to.
It's like you just moved. It's like you moved into a nicer dorm. Like, hey, we gonna be over here playing PlayStation if you want to watch.
Pretty much.
Like, that's the thing I look back on in college, and like, no, women are so forgiving. Like, when it really comes down to it, they be giving us far more country than we deserve. Just sitting over there watching a bunch of motherfuckers play PlayStation.
That is awful. It's not. I guess you think it's like when you try to ball out when there's girls at the park where you playing basketball. It's like you think, oh, I'm gonna do my thing right here, and they're gonna find this quite appealing. But it never works out that way.
Oh, man. All right. We're going to take a little break here for a second. We're going to get back and actually talk about Aaron Rodgers. Also, there's a powerful bit of racism that's beginning to take place that I got to stand on. What they say these days now is to stand on business. We got to stand on business to stop this, Domonique. Me and you, we going to get together and make this happen. Coming up next. Prize Picks is the most fun you can have by winning up to 25 times your money this football season, and now you can play during basketball season too. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. And with the NBA back, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that include 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. Prize Picks is really simple to play. You can make our picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. And if you stick around for the end of the show, you'll get to hear some picks from producer Sean that can either help you win or make you fail miserably. So go make sure you go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. Prize Picks. Daily fantasy sports made easy. All right, Domonique. So we did mention this to Aaron Rodgers. Still, this is crazy talk. Like, the idea that he could come back from this, there's something we don't know that is going on in this process. I don't know what it is, and he's mocking us. That's the thing. I check them on McAfee when they talk about this. Oh, they're saying nobody's ever done it, because nobody's ever done it. Like, you're not going to make me feel bad for wondering what the deal is.
So nobody's ever done it, and it's fair to say that you say that about everything until somebody actually does it. So yeah, that's true. I think about Dr. James Andrews' innovative surgery. Prior to that, ACL was a career ender, right? Like, essentially, for most people, and at least really debilitating. And then that surgery has, I guess I wasn't around or paying much attention to how that was received or who was the first person to come back sooner than, or to come back period, and come back as nearly as effective as they were before. And once the surgeries develop, you learn about the things that I was talking about. It's like maintaining your flexibility and regaining your quad strength as soon as possible are things that are important. And so that's what it comes down to me. The repair itself for most of these things. Again, and obviously everyone knows that I'm not a doctor, but I played football for a long time, which means I know a little bit about ligaments and bones and joints. But the repair is normally not the problem. The recovery is the problem. And if he figured out a way to expedite the recovery process, strengthen and maintain the flexibility more quickly, or not he, someone else figured it out, and this is the innovation that is going to lead to that, then by all means. It's just I haven't heard people, and you shouldn't trust my medical advice, but I haven't heard people whose medical opinions I trust saying, oh, but he got this new thing, this should work. Like, I even remember when they were doing microfracture surgery, and the argument with that was like, all right, we don't know, but in theory, this could help. No one is saying that right now. It's just like, he's special, right?
This the other thing, and I think that this is very important. If this really does work in some form or fashion, he's going to be so insufferable. Oh, yeah. And like what this should be is some measure of progress in the whole, like, I don't know, medical arts. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you want to call it, and figuring out how to get back. I feel like he's just going to be a jerk about it, right? And just so he can like run laps around us and I told you I did this. No, man, you got to share your ways, man. Like even if it make you a bunch of money, whatever it is, I don't care what weirdo shit you did to make this happen. I don't know where you went. You're going to have to put us on to game on what you did if you really can't come back this fast off of this. Otherwise, what we going to see is you crumble into a heap again.
What I have been finding ways to rationalize this the whole time. And it's like, I don't think he really believes that he's coming back. He's saying this to keep his team motivated. He's saying this to give himself a target to keep him motivated. Those things make logical sense. He's saying this to get back on the field was hard for me to fathom. And now, why would you do it other than to prove us wrong? Is that a good enough reason? Or to like solidify your post-football celebrity? Like, not that he's not a big enough star, but like this is a whole nother storyline for him to be the champion of something that I'm sure when he was at Cal seemed really unlikely, or him being the champion of the people who don't believe in science. And that's like, which is funny because this is obviously, if he does it, it's some sort of advancement in science, but he has staked out this claim as like, nah, don't trust the research, do your own research, which feels very anti-science.
What a guy. What a guy. We have an NFL game this week, though. That's pretty damn interesting. Was the Eagles and the Niners?
Yep.
Teed it up this week. And the thing about the Eagles is, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, I feel like when they've looked their best, the 49ers have looked better than the Eagles have looked. But the worst of the 49ers has looked worse than the worst of the Eagles has. Like the Eagles are on a, like they like the rich man's Pittsburgh Steelers. Just keep on finding ways to win, right? Like, but they have these moments like against Buffalo. That pass that Jalen Hurts made to take the lead, or like, I forget exactly what the score was, but a late one. It was just one of those you throw up and you're like, oh, yeah, well, that's right. We're better than them. They're like, nothing really too complex here. Just going to throw it, lob it up in the end zone right quick. My bigger than your guy receiver's going to jump up and catch it. And then, okay, cool. We go have this going.
The wild part about that was it wasn't one of those guys. It was Zacchaeus that caught that pass.
That's right.
And he just is, it's just the confidence from being around these other guys turned him into it. But you're right. That's generally the vibe. And they have this quarterback running game they can always fall back on. When you talk about, I do those morning shows a bunch. You get up and stuff. And so we have to like boil it down to simpler conversations for people who are getting ready for work and walking by. So like breaking down the true X's and O's of a situation and complexity of a game is for NFL Live or for somewhere else. But on there, they ask you things like, who's better, essentially. Find interesting ways like, who's a better team, the 49ers or the Eagles? It's impossible to answer because the answer is, the 49ers, if things go this way, the Eagles can't even mess with them. But the Eagles is like, well, if it goes a couple different ways, and that's why I end up on like just trusting the Eagles more, is the way that I view it is the Eagles have demonstrated an ability to win a bunch of different type of games against a bunch of different type of opponents because they are so versatile offensively and they have the potential to be defensively. The 49ers, while they have versatile players, they aren't incredibly versatile. And I think the biggest example that comes to mind is we see what happened to them against mediocre to bad teams when they get down. They get down, it's hard. They get down, it is hard. And as much as we love how creative Kyle Shanahan's offense is, his offense is predicated on the uniqueness and the versatility of his players. And so while the Eagles are deep as hell diverse in their play or in their style of play, they can find different ways to win. The 49ers is also like, we lose one of those guys, we in trouble. You lose McCaffrey, you in trouble. You lose Debo, you in trouble. You lose Kittle, you in trouble. You lose Trent, it's a little bit tougher. And so that's why I end up just saying, like, look, man, I know the Eagles don't look great, but they seem like they're the better team.
Yeah, and I mean, and you left out the big one, man. The Eagles got a quarterback I feel like you can trust, and the 49ers do not. Right? Like a lot of that coming back from being down, Brock Purdy ain't the same dude when you're not nursing the lead. He's a better front runner. And I'm not saying that as an insult, right? But I think that's been proven out in what we've seen. And what hurts, like that was the thing with the Super Bowl with him was it wasn't like you can't treat him like he's Josh Allen, where you just say, all right, we gonna get what you get us, right? We're jumping on like that game against the Eagles last week with the Bills and the Eagles. Just jump on Josh Allen's back and let's see where this goes. You're not going to do that with Jalen Hurts. But if you need your quarterback to be the reason, Hurts is capable of doing that. I don't feel like Purdy has given us that. And it reminds me, you made a very interesting comparison last time we talked about Purdy in this way that I think you got right, except all the way wrong. And I think you'll understand what I mean when I say it. Basically, we were talking about Kyle Shanahan. And my question about Kyle Shanahan is, like, if you ain't got your quarterback situation right, or all you can do is operate with bums, can you be the person to run the team? And you're like, yeah, but Kyle's got this thing that he do, right? He got this thing that he do. And when you got that thing you do, people look at you and they wonder, like, you know, why it is you there. But they're like, yo, it's that thing right there, right?
Yep.
I actually think it's the opposite with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, everything looks great on the surface, but for some reason, that thing can't get it right. And you look at him like, oh, no, you can't get rid of Kyle Shanahan. How could you do that? Look at all these other things. Yeah, but it's something missing there. It's something missing there, and you can't be the team that can't come back. Like, I mean, that's the Baltimore Ravens, the larger Lamar Jackson question that a lot of people have is, okay, so if you get down and we can't run the ball that much, can we just jump on your back and you get us there? Because sometimes that's what it's going to come down to. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Eagles, because I don't think you can get down to the 49ers like the Eagles have been getting down to people. But if they get up on the 49ers, it's probably a wrap.
Especially without Lane Johnson, or a hobbled Lane Johnson, because the Eagles' offensive line can hold up against most defensive lines. And they probably can hold up against this San Francisco defensive line most of the time. But the thing about pass rush is it only take one sack fumble. It only take one to injure your quarterback, as the 49ers know well. So I think it's important to be up if the 49ers are going into the game. It's important to be up to allow them to have that advantage. And the Purdy criticism that we have generally is, it's not even criticism, the assessment of his inability to operate when they are down. Like, it's a reasonable thing for a dude in his second year who was the last pick of the draft. Like, it's more than reasonable. That dude is incredible given the expectations and given the way that he has performed in all of this. And you've seen this offense with other quarterbacks. It's better with him. So he deserves a great deal of credit, but it's unrealistic to assume that the last guy that was drafted in the draft in his second year can not only be better than every other quarterback that they ever had, like, you've already gotten lucky there, but he also is going to be clutch in those situations that he's seen very few of against this level of competition. And he may get there. But even the quarterbacks that are the best in the league now, some of them, lots of them, struggled in those moments early in their career. It's fair. It's reasonable. 49ers fans know it in their heart of hearts that we're not being unfair to him, and we're not hating on him. We just saying he in his second year, and we've yet to see him do it. And guys don't just roll into the league like that. And normally if they roll into the league like that, you want to at least pick them in the first round or the second round. Somebody would have figured that shit out. It don't happen. Like Tom Brady don't happen that often, guys.
No.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I mean it's going to be a very interesting one to check out here. Like this, Kyle keeps it interesting, if nothing else. Like, I'll give that to him. His guy McDaniel down there in Miami. Like, hey, I appreciate some guys that's out here keeping it interesting. The Sirianni dude, good for him. They feel interesting. I don't have a great explanation for it, but like, I don't think anybody has ever outkicked his press conference quite like Nick Sirianni has.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Campbell seems the same way, but I guess people like the bite in the kneecap. But generally, we laughed at it. And
we laughed at what Dan Campbell said. Nick Sirianni appeared to be like incompetent.
Yeah. Didn't was it Gannon, the guy at Arizona?
Yeah,
they better than we expected based on the way that he came in the building. I remember it wasn't a press conference for him. It was like a video, a get hype video where he was asking people if they ate breakfast this morning. Or something.
That's right.
It was bad.
But Sirianni was out there. Sirianni was out there looking bad in the kind of way that make the black people group chats light up, and people be like, "See, right there." Right there. Oh, speaking of the black people group chats, though, I don't know if this is a black people group chat, white people group chat. I don't know if there's any group chat that's actually participating in this in the way that you and I do. But, I am always fascinated by the places where we be holding the white man down, and those places tend to be on the outsides in football, right? Like, the farther outside you go, they also, although the defensive tackle space seemed to be a place that the white man is being held back that we don't really talk about so much. Like, somehow, as defensive end has become a freak athlete position, you keep finding white dudes who can do that, but they can't find no Tony Siragusa out here no more. They not.
Well, to be fair, I guess Max Crosby isn't, but a lot of the best white dudes on the edge, they got grandfathered in. They was like, "Oh, your daddy did that, huh? Okay, fair. Maybe we believe in you, Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe we believe in these Bosa boys."
But Aiden Hutchinson's daddy got drafted in like the 9th round or something like that. Like he didn't actually play in the NFL. He capped out where most white defensive ends cap out. First team all Big Ten. You know what I'm saying? That's where
the crazy part. Because my defense of that would be, well, he got to college in part because they didn't move him to tight end because they're like, oh no, his daddy did it. And then he balled out so much that he couldn't move him. But there's one position where no matter how much you ball out, it don't matter what your daddy did, your granddaddy, your mama, nothing. None of it matters. You ain't allowed.
They can't see it. Because like at least the Bosa's jumped off the screen. Right, yeah. Especially that younger one. Like, there was just no question as to what was going on here. They'd have to get grandfathered in. Like, somebody was going, or maybe they had to be grandfathered in to try, right? Like, Daddy Bosa rolled up and was like, hey, he going 3 points there. Okay, guys, just make it before you. Or do white people even realize they have to do that? Like, my mama would have to show up to school every now and then just to let them know what time it was, right? Yep. Do you know that you got to look out for this little white boy because they're gonna try to squelch his dreams if they don't know that he got some backup. But it's this dude at Iowa named Cooper DeJean, and we talked about they had the one last year, Riley Moss, who I want to say was the 2nd or 3rd round pick at corner. I don't know. Do he still play corner? Are they allowing him to continue to do that?
I don't know. Normally, they don't even let you have a CB next to your name in the draft. They let him do that. Let's see. Is he still in Denver? He's still in Denver. Oh. So on Google, it says DB.
I was just looking at that.
If you go into the roster for the Broncos, it says CB, number 37.
Okay. 37 does feel like a number, though, that they always ready to make that transition. Like,
that's why I said it. They was like, oh, all the 20s is gone, my brother. Single digit, no sir.
But he ran a 4.45 at the combine. Because look, Iowa, I mean, they got a lot going on up there when it comes to the racial politics of the football program, but they are out here making sure no fast white dude is left behind. This dude is from Iowa, came out there, ran the 4.5, got drafted. He was the first team all Big Ten. I want to say he was second team all Big Ten the year before. And now they got Cooper DeJean, and he jumps off the screen, guys. Like, he gets them interceptions and takes them back the other way and runs back punts and all of this. And I've been peeping it all year long. Mel Kiper has him as a 1st round pick at corner. First round pick at corner. He doesn't get to do too much because they'll be throwing the ball at him. He had that punt return that got called back, like that got eliminated. I don't remember the whole circumstance, but Iowa, they can't afford to get back no points. He the best point man that they got. And so I've been waiting to see what would happen as as the draft came around. So about my own business at the crib. I'm at ESPN.com. See the homie Field Yates, and he's going through all the prospects at the different positions. And I see he has Cooper DeJean as the number one safety. Safety. He's got him as the number one safety, saying that, they can move him to safety or as a sub-package linebacker. He is listed at 6'1", 207 pounds, and we are already making him into, and fast as hell, and we are already making him to a linebacker because y'all stop doing it. It be your own people, Cooper. It be your own people. I promise you, it ain't us. It's your own.
So you put me on to Cooper before. So I think after the punt return, a lot of the country became aware of Cooper DeJean. You put me on more than a year, or probably sometime this summer, maybe. Yes. I don't know. But you put me on, and I was like, oh, I followed him on Instagram just so I can see his highlights. That dude is fucking special. Like an athlete. What? I don't know what we need to do to clear up this bit of racial profiling, but if they move that man to safe, it's outrageous to me. It doesn't make sense. It's like, so these people, internet trolls, or not me, internet trolls, just like general trolls who want to find some like reverse racism to trump it around, they are looking at the wrong things. This is your Lamar Jackson. This is him. They trying to keep a great NFL corner. Just like some people was trying to keep a great NFL quarterback from playing quarterback, and his mama had to fight to make sure the college coaches would do it, and he slid to the back of the draft, and Ozzie Newsome had to trade up to get that MVP in the first round. Y'all about to do it to a damn cornerback. And maybe he don't want to play cornerback for what reason, I don't know, because that's where the money is at. But he's played, they put him in the slot up there. He plays some safety. Like, he has the capability to do everything in college because he's better than everybody else. You watch him. He returns punts. He's faster. He's more explosive. He's not, I'm sure he's crafty. I'm sure he's smart. His speed is not deceptive, but he is just a freak athlete. And I think people saw that video. Yeah, they had that highlight rolling around of him doing dunks in high school. That's what we dealing with here, guys.
I was about to say, he looks bananas.
He's 6 foot and jacked and doing ridiculous things. And this is an example of racial profiling that we all can get behind.
Kirk Ferentz has decided, like, look, man, he is pouring the frozen tundra of America, that whole region, and he go and he find them white dudes, man. He go and he get and like, you look and you see, I don't know if it's the case this year, but I know last year Iowa had more white starters on defense than literally the entire Southeastern Conference, the whole conference. But them dudes be going in the first round. Like, these cats is like Riley Moss, first team all Big Ten. Jack Campbell, the dude that the Lions took. Like, these cats they getting picked. Like, this is not, whatever you think about Kirk Ferentz, he be out here finding diamonds, dog. He out here getting the diamonds. And they gonna try to mess that up. You know what? That's what he need. Kirk Ferentz need to get out there and explain to the people that that's what's going on here, right? Like, Kirk Ferentz somebody needs to do it, because you're right. They about to take this man's chance away. And look, if he does get to play corner, he might have 10 interceptions by week 9, because you know damn well they going to throw the ball at him every single play.
You remember, I think it was on the Bus of the Boys podcast that, like, the clip was rolling around where Josh Allen said that when he see a white linebacker, he make a milk check. Yep. With me, we gonna go right at them. Oh, they are coming for you, Coop, and you gonna show them that you are not what they think they see. That is not who you are. Maybe you had this success with other people, but I ain't them. I talked to, so when you sent me that thing, I text my guy Dustin Fox. I don't know if you guys have listened to this podcast for a while. know that Dustin Fox was a cornerback from Ohio State that was drafted in front of me and pissed me off solely because he was white. We've become friends since then. And I texted him because they drafted him as a corner to Minnesota. Immediately after, they moved that man right to safety. And he was pissed. So I was texting with him about this last night. And he was like, yeah, he said flat out, like he felt like it's about race because he was not the size. He was a corner size. He was my size. He was shorter than me and weighed maybe a little bit more than me. They moved that man to safety. He's like, I never played safety. I don't know how to play safety, but they drafted him as a cornerback and immediately shuffled him right on inside. And there's no reason for it.
And the thing with him is when he always lists the people who said he could play quarter, it was all black.
Yep.
Like Tomlin, Mel Tucker, I forget who the third one was, but they was all black.
Yep. But yeah, I hope that Cooper wants to play corner.
We see things in y'all that y'all don't see in y'all selves. Why don't y'all understand that?
I mean, and we've talked about it before, like the white slot receiver. There was a point when that wasn't a thing, but is now accepted as something that white receivers can do or white people can do in football. And like, I get it. It's human nature. You see a striped cat, and you're like, man, that's a tiger. I need to run away. Then you see something else that don't look as scary, and you're like, oh, we can't do that. No, this is not what we're dealing with. You are dealing with a tiger in Cooper. He can kill. Get that man and put him at cornerback.
And let me tell you so right now. If he is in a position to do something about it, Bill Belichick go get his red R back on, and he gonna find a way. They gonna have Christian Gonzalez come back next year, and then have Cooper DeJean on the other side. He's like, cool. We'll be running man. We'll be running man with 8 men in the box for the next 15 years.
Yeah, he loves a cornerback, man. He loves secondary players that can cover and man coverage because he knows it gives him the flexibility to do everything.
But even Belichick hadn't gone so far as to have white defensive backs. He be having the white boys being shifty. He played defensive end and be out there playing them receiver positions. Even I can't even think of when he had a safety.
Trying to think of him. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I'm scared for Cooper because they're going to look at him and think that he's smart. I don't know whether he is or he isn't. They're going to be like, he's smart. And they're going to be like, you know where we need to put him? We need to put him inside. He can make more impact on the game. We put him at safety because he's so smart. And I don't want to take away from the not smartness of the way that he plays because the not smart is the stuff I like.
They're like, hey, you ever made the calls? How'd you like to wear how'd you like that the green dot, buddy? How'd you like to have that? You want to keep that? Okay. I see you. Wow. We made it around here, man. That is Domonique Foxworth. Check him out on the Domonique Foxworth Show, available wherever you get your podcast. My man, I greatly appreciate you.
Justice for Cooper.
All right. Now, before we go, we got our picks from Prize Picks. Sean, we got picks for the people?
Yep. Going with the Sunday 10 a.m. games. Keenan Allen, 92.5 receiving yards. I'll take more against that Patriots defense. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 81.5 receiving yards. I will also go more there. And Garrett Wilson, 51.5 receiving yards. If Aaron Rodgers is back, I'll take the more. We'll see how that Achilles holds up. Who knows?
Oh, wow. You try to get Aaron Rodgers back in 3 days.
We'll see.
Good luck with that. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. We do this 3 days a week. Sean Yu handles everything behind the scenes. Thank you, sir. Remember, we got to give us something for the voicemail. Dominique, what do you think the people should, what do you think the people should talk to us, give us voicemails about as I think about this completely on the fly?
I mean, we're right on the DeJean stuff. So what comes to mind is the time that you were surprised in an athlete.
Oh, that white boy did it to you?
It didn't have to be a white boy, anybody that you were surprised. You didn't expect much from. He was the nerd in class and then he crossed you to your knees, whatever. The time when you were surprised.
Yes, that time. I would actually, the white people ain't never going to call up and give it to us, but give us that story about the time the black dude did it to you. Like the time you had a debate tournament and Bomani showed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is a rap. Oh, no, it's not. It's not a rap. It's not going to be a rap at all. Y'all got these stories. Go ahead and give them to us. The phone number is 323-596-7767. 323-596-7767. Now remember, follow The Right Time. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars, I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. We'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Take it easy.